Okay, this is May the 26th, Tuesday. This is one disadvantage to having my beans down here where they are. It's a little bit low. The ground is super rich down here, but yeah, it's a little bit low. You see this water standing here. Last night, this is 4:30 in the afternoon. Last night it rained 2 inches. It's just all through that grass right there. But anyhow, yeah, at least the beans themselves, the feet of the beans are dry. Now that is one thing that will make them turn yellow. The water stood down here on my beans, well, beside them and kind of in them for 3 straight days, because we got, like, I know we had at one point recently 5 inches of rain in 5 days, and like beside them was just several inches deep of water on each side of the beans. And they looked pretty good at the time, and as you can see, them are really yellowing up good or bad, and most of that is because of that water. So I really don't know if these are going to recover or not. Anyway, that's it for Tuesday, June the 3rd. It is Friday, June the 12th or so. Well, this just goes to prove that wearing a hat can produce some mighty strange hairdos. Whoa. Anyhow, down here at the okra, well, the okra seeds more or less, and beans, where this place has been underwater for 5 days at various times this year. So what I wound up doing here on the beans, I thought about replanting them, but instead, if you can see here, I ridged them up on each side, kind of create a earthen dam around them. So maybe if it rains anymore, the earthen dam will keep some of the water out, keep their feet dry just a little bit. And I just removed the chicken wiring that I had around here. Hopefully the rabbits won't find them too enticing when they're this size. But yeah, I pinched a bunch of they had like huge amounts of yellow leaves on them. I don't know, they would have fell off on their own, but I pinch them off just so they'll look a little better. I hate a garden that looks crappy. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the beans, and they ought to be just much bigger than they are. I mean, for the length of time they've been planted, if they hadn't been underwater for 5 days, they would have been a couple of foot up on this fence by now. And it's iffy if they're gonna make it or not. I think we could have, if it rains any little bit at all, they're going to be wetter than they should be. And I had a couple of tomatoes planted down here. They got their feet wet too, and they look poorly. I pinched all the lower, well, dead really limbs off the bottom of it, and I just mounded them up too. Them's about I don't know, I got them mounded up at least 8 or 10 inches above ground level. We'll see how they do. These actually should be bigger than some other ones that I've got planted up in the main garden. Those other ones are probably, if you can't consider the mass, they've probably got 5 or 6 times the mass that these here do. Okay, you may not be able to tell much. Let me get a good perspective here. But what I did here, I just made a big ridge. If it rains much more at all, this will be underwater again, so I can't take a chance with all the effort of planting and just have it stay underwater. These okra seeds are not going to do any good if they're underwater. So I just rototillered it and then pulled dirt. I wish I'd had my camera down here sooner. You could have told more about it. But I pulled dirt from each side, and I had just a big peak. It came to, like a real sharp peak, probably 3 times taller than this, but of course you can't plant on a little peak, so then you have to flatten it out. So this wound up being like about 6 inches at least taller than the surrounding ground, and then it's got a plateau on top about a foot wide. So anyhow, I just planted it today. I planted 4 seeds across. We're a foot, a foot apart. You can see where I patted it down there with my hands where I planted it. So, yep, that's about it down here at the okra and beans, and that's about it for this little segment. And also on the beans, I did go ahead and miracle grow them, hoping that maybe that'll make them green up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not real certain exactly how confident I am in this method here. It mostly depends on the weather. Right now, this ground, this mound I'm planting on, plateau, is really, really soft. If we had a gully washer or two, in the next few days, it would just tear it all to pieces. But if we can go a week or 2 weeks without having any severe thunder showers, where we give this thing time to sort of settle in, I think I'll be all okay on it. And even if we have gentle rains and all, the water will just collect on the side, so it won't drown everything. Last year, I didn't realize this area down here was so low last year. We had a drought last year, so I didn't have any problems at all with water standing down here last year. But that was last year. But that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. Yeah, okay. Next year, actually, okay, there's my main garden way up there, which actually is looking very good. I have to sort of do a zoom in with my lens every now and then. I love my camera. Canon FS 100. Highly recommend this camera. It's not too bad, like around $250 or so, 37x zoom or something like that. Anyhow, next year I shall be planting my garden. This soil here, this is absolutely fantastic soil down here. This soil is 10 to 1 better than the soil up there in my main garden. It has nowhere near the tendency to clump up, cloud up, crust over. It's just, and it's not like hard pan like that up there. When you rototiller that up yonder in the main garden, after it goes down a few inches, your rototiller starts really bucking with you because the doggone thing is just so hard underneath. This is just wonderful stuff. And what I'm going to do is not plant down here next year because this is just too low, too wet. But on up that way, in the middle of these weeds right up here, like about halfway between here, well, 2/3 of the way between here and the main garden is where I'll be planting next season. I'll be abandoning the old hard pan up there. The reason that soil up there is so crappy is when the house was built, they dug out for the basement. In that area right there, for like about 2 years, there was a huge mound of subsoil where they dug out for the basement. And then later on, when they sort of graded everything, they spread out all that subsoil, and a large amount of it wound up right there where this garden place is. And through the years, I have added tons and tons and tons of organic matter, and it doesn't seem to have mattered, because it just still is this hard, crusty soil. Sometimes it looks pretty good on video right after I rototillered and added some stuff to it and show it on the video. It might look pretty good most of the time, but believe you me, it's just not very nice soil to work with. So, yep, we shall be. Whoa! Well, that's a serious look there, isn't it? Yikes. Wow. Right along in here, this will be next year's garden, and I'm going to do it a little bit of a different way than my main garden. It's going to have a drastically different look to it than what my main garden does. I shall save that little tidbit for another video. Bye, everybody.